What's up, Daddies? Another Sunday, another episode of The Walking Dead. Rick Grimes has found his new best friend. So has Daryl Dixon, and it's not even a human. What? And more importantly, Khary Payton himself, King Ezekiel, is going to be joining us live via Skype. All that and more. Spoilers ahead on After the Dead. What's up, Comic Book Nation? Welcome to After the Dead. I'm your host, Brandon Davis. Call me BD, please. I am joined tonight by the ultimate Torier, Tori Yates, or she brought the guns. I know a certain Jadis who's going to want to collect those from you. Janelle Wheeler is here. She's been freaking out all night long.
Oh my God, I love this episode so much.
All right, we do have Khary Payton waiting for us live via Skype. We're going to talk to him all about this episode. But before we get to that, sorry to make you wait, Khary. Immediate reactions. What did you think?
Okay, two favorite moments for me. Spiky Walker and Carol Daryl reunion, of course. Oh.
I also have to go Spiky Walker, but Daryl and Shiva, what's going to happen there? We talked about it last week.
So good.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was awesome. And can we say if something went through Rick's hand? We're going to have to address that. Guys, we are live, though. I want to remind you that you can join the show, join the conversation in Facebook, leave your comments. We will address them to the best we can. Send your questions. I promise you we will do our best to answer them. And you can join the conversation anytime during the week on Twitter using hashtag AfterTheDead. And joining us now via Skype, guys, we are so excited to have him on the show, so make sure you welcome him in the comment sections. Khary Payton, you know him as King Ezekiel of The Walking Dead. Khary, thank you, man. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. Hello, ladies. Hello, Brandon.
Hello, man. So I have a couple questions for you. We're going to jump right in. We took a few from Twitter, but this one comes from me. On a scale of 1 to Negan, how much does Ezekiel regret being so nice to Daryl already? Because not only is he kind of stealing your girl, and it looks like he might be stealing your tiger.
Yeah, you know what? I think Ezekiel's a pretty confident dude. I'm not too worried about anybody stealing my tiger. Tigers take a lot of maintenance, and you know, hey, I'm kind of glad that she's that she's a little bit into him. That means that my instincts were right, and it was good to take him in.
Yeah, I thought that was a really cool moment. This next question comes from Twitter. Jonathan submitted a question for you using the hashtag AfterTheDead. He wants to know, is a relationship blooming between Carol and Ezekiel, or is she too emotionally distant? I mean, in other words, is there anything actually happening here, or are us fans just paying extra for shipping for no reason?
I think the fans are doing extra shipping for no reason. I mean, they've been shipping Daryl and Carol for, 7 years now. So and I don't think anything's happened. You know, we just had an episode, and we're already, running through the field with flowers and, having a picnic.
There's fan art. It's 2017. You guys are the biggest thing on Twitter. You know?
Yeah, that's what it's crazy, man. People take it and run with it. I mean, obviously there's a relationship there. Romantic. I don't know. We'll have to see.
We'll see. We'll keep shipping it in the meantime. You know they're going to. Tumblr.
Ship away. Hey, you know what? It's all good fun.
What do you call them? Is it Carzekiel if it happens?
You know what? I can't do Carzekiel. That's too out there for me. I'm gonna keep them Carol and Zeke. How about Carol and Zeke?
What about Zeke Carol?
Yeah, that just confuses the crap out of me.
We don't need
exactly.
it. We don't need it.
My name, you know what? Having a name like Khary is tough enough as far as my world is concerned. Nobody knows how to. Maybe after, I've been on the show a few times, people will start at least pronouncing my name right. I don't want to start confusing them with another, crazy name.
Yeah, I bet the first day of school was always a lot of fun. But last week, it kind of looked like Ezekiel was actually going to join Rick's war for a second, especially when Benjamin says, when you have a chance to be a hero, be a hero. But still, he shuts Rick down. He's like, nah, man, I'm not going to war with you people. I don't know. Why did he shut Rick out like that?
Because I don't know this dude. Dude just walked through the door, didn't even sit down, literally didn't even sit down. And was like, hey, man, you want to get a bunch of people killed for me? I was like, why don't you hang out for a little bit? Let me get to know you. Buy me dinner first.
Right.
I think anybody who walks into a place where that you're in charge or responsible for the lives of the people, and they just come out and say, hey, we want to go to war. I mean, I think anybody would think twice about that. It's one thing to be like, hey, we need some help. Can you help me change a tire? Help me build a house? No, but he comes in and was like, "Hey, I want to get a bunch of your people killed and maybe save some others. What do you think?" You
Yeah, I
know,
mean that's
I
a
mean, I
big
mean,
ask.
he's a leader who's done a good job of keeping his people safe.
Right.
So I think it's going to take a little more convincing than one story.
Which almost kind of makes you question when Daryl is like, "You call yourself a king, you ain't acting like one." But that's for another time.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? That's one of those things where Ezekiel was kind of like, "Yeah, dude, clearly you're not a
Yeah,
king."
clearly
So
you've never ruled people.
let me let you know, when you're king, you can't just go all half cocked and run off and do crazy shit. You have to actually, take into account that other people might get hurt.
Ask Robert Baratheon; he'll probably know a thing or two about that. But
That's what I'm talking about, man.
has King Ezekiel ever met Negan, or has he only met these grunts that he's dealing with during the supply drops?
Yeah, I don't think he's met Negan yet. I don't think. I think there's been a certain amount of distance between he and Negan, and he and most of the saviors. I think that he happened upon a few people, figured out this deal, and it's worked out pretty well. So
Okay. Right. That's probably why he's not so eager to go to war. But the war is coming. The show is probably going to get dark again. It has been very dark. It's typically a dark show. It's not known for humor, but Ezekiel and his pal Jerry, you guys bring a lot of levity and a lot of humor to the show. It's so much fun to watch. It's like a completely different show almost. What's the dynamic like between you guys on set? And when Andy Lincoln shows up and he's sharing all the dark stuff and things, does stuff get a little bit more serious in those scenes, or do you guys manage to keep it light?
We try to. It's not about keeping it light so much as we're just kind of following the script and following Ezekiel's modus operandi for surviving this apocalypse.
Right.
And he's gonna survive it joyfully. One way or the other. Even when he's even when the walkers were coming at him in that first episode. He was apologizing to him that he couldn't kill them all right now and kind of set their souls free.
Right.
Because to him, killing a walker is kind of like church. It's baptizing these people so that they don't have to live in these dead husks anymore. So every aspect of his life, he's trying to find some kind of light.
Right.
Some kind of positive aspect about it. So I think it just lends itself to, if there's a place to put some light, he's going to put it in there. And Jerry's just great. Jerry's great for a laugh.
The dynamic between you and Jerry is so much fun, but the dynamic between you and Morgan is very interesting, especially in that scene last week where they were in the theater and you look to Morgan and you say, "Morgan, what say you?" And you ask, which I love how you talk. And in a second, I'm going to ask you if you can be King Ezekiel and I can be Rick Grimes. But first, I want to know, why does he go to Morgan for advice? Is that because he's genuinely interested in Morgan's advice, or did he kind of expect Morgan to take his side and be this whole "there's other options than killing, why would we go to war" type deal?
I think a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B. I think Ezekiel's the kind of leader that likes to hear every angle. I think like, say, when he was talking to Ben, after he put his brother to bed, he was listening to Ben, and even though he made a decision that was opposite of what Ben was advising him to do, he felt good about this kid giving his opinion, and he likes having all of these different opinions come at him so that he can make the best decision. Even if he had already thought to himself that, what, I'm going to say no immediately, he still decided that he was going to think on it, that he was going to sleep on it. And so he's going to take the time to make the right decision. And I think he finds that Morgan is this badass warrior, but he's a thoughtful warrior. And he's going to think about other options.
And that was very much on display in tonight's episode when you look to Benjamin and you say, "You've become a very skilled fighter. That doesn't mean you should search for a fight." It seems like
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's tough, in those scenes with those saviors, because everything in me is like, we need to deal with these guys now. But Ezekiel is he's a little shy about that because he's had people get hurt before.
Right.
But he's not a coward. He's not sending other people out there to do his dirty work.
Right. Right.
He's like Captain Kirk. He doesn't send somebody else on the away team. He's
Right,
like, I'll
that's
go
true.
do it. I'll go do it.
Yeah.
Some other dudes in red shirts gonna get killed, but I'll go do it.
He's a bold fella. Now, here at After the Dead and Comicbook.com, we obviously read the comic books.
Sure.
I'm sure you're at least familiar with the comics if you haven't read them by now.
course.
Now, we know in the comics, Dwight plays a huge role in getting Ezekiel
Right.
to join the war. Now, I have no idea whether or not that's going to happen on the show. The show likes to change things up all the time.
Right.
But what is it going to take? Would it take something like that, some sort of inside man, or would it take one of his people dying for Ezekiel to actually go forward and want to join this war?
I'm not sure what it'll take. I don't know if it'll take his people dying necessarily. I think it'll take Ezekiel being privy to or actually witnessing the saviors doing something truly savage. You
Right.
know that it doesn't necessarily have to happen to his people, but I think that he would have to at least see, firsthand just how horrible they are. Right now he's just hearing it kind of secondhand,
Yeah.
from other people. And as far as he's seen, although he's had trouble with him, he's had altercations with him. He's also been able to figure him out. He's been able to keep people relatively safe
Right.
with these saviors. So I think it's just gonna take the saviors doing something truly despicable.
Everything you just said made me incredibly nervous for Carol for some reason, because I know you care about Carol, whether or not you want to admit it. But my last question for you, now I'm going to do this as Rick Grimes. If you do this as King Ezekiel, my life will be complete. Now, I'm Rick Grimes. Of the remaining episodes, which one are you most excited for, Kang?
Well, I think I'm excited to get you to stop saying Kang. It's actually an ing, not an ang. I realize you're not from around here, but I'm actually from Virginia. We have a bit of a drawl, many of us. But you, sir, are the only one who calls me Kang.
Well, Kang, I hope we get to fight the Saviors again sometime soon, or ever for the first time. That was terrible. I tried. You're much better at King Ezekiel. You are a much better King Ezekiel than I am Rick Grimes.
A for effort. A for effort. You had the Kang down.
Hey, Khary, thank you so much.
Kang-wise.
Well, that was the best moment of that scene where Jesus is like, time for you to meet King Ezekiel, and he's just like, Kang.
Kang?
I think we'll all agree there.
I think they should have gone back and forth. It was like, Kang, King. Kang?
Kang. Well, Khary, thank you so much for joining us tonight on After the Dead. This has been a blast. I know everybody at home enjoyed tonight's episode. It was a great episode. You were great, and I'm so happy to have had you on the show tonight.
Yeah, and a shout out to my girl Pollyanna. I've actually McIntosh. I've known her for years, and we just happened to. I hadn't seen her for years, and we happened to be hopping on the biggest show in the world at the same time. It's crazy, but
Yeah.
she was amazing, and I can't wait to see more of those junkyard kids.
Oh, yeah, we're excited about that. And we're excited for Young Justice Season 3, but we can talk about that another time.
Let's talk
Thanks,
about
man.
it.
Thank you so much.
Anytime.
If I just never do another impression of Rick Grimes, I don't think the world's going to be mad about it. But that was freaking awesome. I just got to talk to King Ezekiel, like in character.
He's awesome.
Yeah, and you need to do the Negan impression too. I think.
Yeah, Negan would have been a safer bet for me. But,
I think that's next
okay.
time.
Can we talk about the Daryl Tiger situation? I think there was somebody asking about it.
Yeah, Jacob Baranowski was asking, when is the tiger going to kill someone or a walker? But that combination of Daryl and the tiger,
So sweet.
Oh,
somebody's going.
One thing I'm going to point out is that Shiva the tiger can eat zombies and not get infected. Like, that's a thing in the
Right.
comics. King Ezekiel points that out. She can eat she's immune to the virus. She can get bit. She can eat zombies. Nothing's going to happen. But this is exactly what I was talking about last week. I mentioned this on last week's show. Greg Nicotero teased it on the cruise. He said Daryl might have a new four-legged friend. And Daryl and the tiger might be like one of the coolest things that could happen.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're going to wait until the big showdown to really have the tiger rip some heads off.
Yeah,
I really think they're going to wait until everybody's out there. I mean, it's also CGI. They have to pay for that. That's a lot of work.
That's
I
true.
think they're
But when
waiting
it
for the
happens,
showdown. Yeah.
I'm going to lose my mind.
Yes.
I'm going to say it here first. I think the season 7 finale, we're going to see Shiva in action.
Absolutely.
I truly believe that, and I think everyone at home is excited. But another thing people were excited about tonight, Daryl and Carol.
Daryl and Carol.
Can we talk about that reunion for a second? Like, what?
Okay, tears, but also anger.
Anger?
Yes.
Why are you mad? Are you mad?
Daryl should have told Carol about Glenn and Abe. I'm sorry. It should have happened. She was already in the zone. She was crying. She was ready to take in the bad news. Do it now. Rip the Band-Aid.
She literally was bracing herself for this. She was ready for this.
No,
and
she
he
wasn't.
lied. You lied, Daryl. Why you do? Oh, I'm
Why
so
you
mad
that?
at him now.
Lying?
Why you always
Why you-
lying?
I am with Daryl on the lie. I am with Daryl. Commenters, let us know what you think. Are you proud of Daryl for lying and protecting Carol or nah? I am with Daryl on this one.
At
Catch
least-
me outside. How about that?
Yeah.
All right. I'm with
Right.
Daryl, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
If he told her that the Saviors killed Abe and Glenn, she's going right back to exactly who she doesn't want to be. She's posted up, reading a book. She's just chilling. She's not killing anybody,
Yeah,
and that's
I
what she
know.
wants to do.
No, it's Carol's bed and breakfast. She has cobbler. I mean, come on. Like
She's got cookies somewhere, I'm sure.
I'm
There's
ready
definitely a
for
quill.
I'm ready for our girl to come back, and I am tired of this whiny, like, get me out. We're in the apocalypse. Okay.
We need her.
I think people are talking about now, though, is why are they not kissing? Why was there no kiss? I'm all for no kiss as
We
well.
already know you have an opinion on this.
I don't think they need to kiss. I don't think anything needs to happen. We don't need to see any freaky deaky, in the words of Negan, between Daryl and Carol, because I think Daryl, look, there might be similar in age. I don't think the age difference is as big as some people might make it out to be in their
It's
own
not,
head.
yeah.
But I think he still looks at her and like as a motherly figure. I do think so.
Yes, and this is where we differ, and this is why it's good to have a few different opinions on this
Exactly.
panel, because I think that there is some sexual
There's
tension,
wrong opinion.
and it needs to happen. Agree with me, people. Come on, like this post to agree.
I'm gonna take the middle ground, and that we can have a relationship like in real life that doesn't have like perfect parameters around it. We don't really know what the relationship is. It can be nebulous, and I'm okay with that.
Once it happens, it can never
That's
unhappen.
what I'm saying.
It can never unhappen.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So I,
I
like
mean,
the gray
very true.
area.
What about when she gets with Daryl? It's not what she wanted it to be, and she's like, well, you know what? King Ezekiel's right outside. And then Daryl's gonna be like, what? You know what? Stay here. Stay in your little cabin in the woods.
The girl's got
Chris
options.
Hemsworth can show up.
No,
and see a
Team
horror movie.
Daryl Carol. Amen. Can I get
No,
it?
I like what happened. I thought those scenes were beautiful. Melissa McBride is such an amazing actress. If she doesn't get nominated for an Emmy Award, I swear
We're going to the end.
I'm gonna
I'm with
riot.
you.
I'm gonna
I'm with
riot.
you.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring the
We got your
bring
back,
the
Carl.
tiger.
We did meet a new group tonight.
Yes.
And they're going by the Garbage Pail Kids in the internet comment sections for those people who have been hunting spoilers. That's what they've been calling them ever since they were introduced last week. Pollyanna McIntosh is playing Jadis. I want to know you guys, your opinion, and the commenters, let us know your opinion too. Do you think we can trust Jadis?
Okay, you can't trust anyone who you think doesn't sleep and has a terrible haircut. Like, where do they sleep? Where do these people sleep? Like, on garbage? Like, what's
Yeah,
going on?
yeah,
Also,
that's their home.
no one has a normal name there. If you really, I mean, they even named their pet
names.
zombie.
But
crazy
fun
name.
fact,
Winslow.
Jadis
Winslow.
is the name of the witch from Narnia who came off all nice and friendly at first and then was like, oh, is that your back?
Ooh, I wonder if that was
Jadis,
intentional.
Judas, I get it.
That's why you watch After the Dead for the eggs. Oh, there's a Smokey the Bandit egg. If you go to Comicbook.com
lot of questions about that.
Yeah, there were that truck that they were hiding behind is actually the truck from Smokey and the Bandit,
So
which I think is really cool. They do stuff like that all the time.
That's so cool. A great salute to a great movie.
Yes.
But I wanted to point out that I did catch up with Pollyanna McIntosh earlier this weekend. Yes, I saw the episode in advance, and I got to talk to her about it, which was really cool. They didn't see it until tonight.
Yeah.
I like to make my co-hosts wait. But
guy.
I talked to Pollyanna, and I said, can we trust you, straight up? And she would not say that we can trust. She didn't say we can't trust her, but she played the whole, well, anything's possible. She doesn't like being told what to
Pollyanna.
do. So I'm thinking maybe Rick delivers these guns, maybe from Oceanside. I don't know if Tara's going to spill the beans on that. And then she might be like, hey, yo, Negan, like, you got all these supplies. You trying to...
Oh, I hope she goes to Negan because she will regret it. Like, he will.
Who do you
Seriously.
think has more people, the Saviors or this junkyard group?
Oh, the Saviors by far. Because
Yeah.
when they did
Yeah.
the overhead shot, I actually
Way
wrote
more.
in my notes, because I take
Yeah.
notes because I'm obsessed with the show, that it seemed like a way smaller amount of people
Yeah.
than it seemed when they were walking through the tunnel.
I was actually having an
Totally.
argument with our Charlie Ridgely, who's another Walking Dead writer here at Comicbook.com. And when we watched the episode, he was saying, dude, they have way more people than the Saviors did in that season 6 finale scene. And I was like, you're crazy. The Saviors outnumber them like at least 10-1.
Absolutely.
Which-
But
As they should.
this is
We
still
need
an
to team
army.
up.
We need the army.
Yeah.
So we'll
We
see.
also had a question: are they the group that is worse than the Saviors?
No.
No.
Absolutely.
The answer is
not.
no.
No,
Absolutely.
the Saviors are bad. I think nobody's gonna be worse than the Saviors until we get to the Whisperers.
Yes.
If the Walking
Yep.
Dead is
I
on
think
long
that's
enough.
who they thought it was, but
They were
thank
quiet, they
goodness.
were weird.
Yes, thank goodness they're not the Whisperers, because we would be.
I remember
we can't handle this
over
right
the
now.
summer, a casting call went out for this character. It was under the name of Breon, and Pollyanna told me that that was
That
what
was
she
it,
was reading
was.
for. That was that casting call. But the casting call made everyone think they were casting Alpha from the Whisperers. And then when you see this group, they're not talking. They're weird. They're dressed weird.
They're just like New
It-
York
it-
Fashion Week people to me. Like honestly, like that's not weird. It's just like avant-garde
Aren't they
couture.
called? They're called like the heapsters.
Well, yeah, I
and
said-
I think they're like
yeah.
the hipster heapsters.
She actually said it's like saying hipster with a Mexican accent.
Yeah.
That was what Pollyanna said. She was like, we are the heapsters.
heapsters.
So it's kind of funny. And in real life, just like Andy Lincoln, she has an English accent, which is
of
you wouldn't have guessed that. It's just props
Yeah.
to their acting.
She's
But,
a testament to her.
Maybe that's why people thought she was saying up, bop, bop instead of up, up, up.
Yeah, take
It's
it
called
to
the
see
up, up, up.
That was just weird. They're weird. The
great.
up. Yeah.
New York
But
people, New York
everyone is
Fashion Week.
freaking out right now because in the comics, Rick loses his hand.
Yes.
And
Mary
that
was
Mad
talking about.
Max, George Miller looking thing that he threw a keyboard at and was like, damn, I'm gonna have to do more than that. That thing right there. Look at it. You wake up, that thing's next to your bed. What do you do?
I know what I'm gonna be for Halloween.
I tweeted this.
So you're not
is-
dressing up? Sorry, just kidding. Just
Oh,
kidding.
he's coming
God.
with the heat.
I did
Okay,
it.
that's
Ooh.
cute. I tweeted this. I think that's the scariest Guillermo del Toro film I've ever seen.
Yeah,
because
honestly.
does that not look like
That
the
thing
guy
looks like a
was-
kaiju from Pacific Rim.
Oh my god,
Like,
it does look like a
honestly,
kaiju.
It's like a Mad Max kaiju. Look at that
Yeah,
thing.
it's so good.
All right, so but what happened was Rick went to stop it, and a spike went right through his hand, and we know the governor cut Rick's hand off in the comics. And this has happened so many times on the show where we thought it was gonna happen. Do you think maybe?
Demary thinks so. He
it
says he
could
thinks Rick's hand will get infected.
Yeah, it could still get infected. That's what. But also, I thought that he was going to kill this walker using one of the things sticking out of the walker. I thought he was
That
going
would've
to
been
yank
cool.
it out.
That would have been really cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
I could have got behind
Go
that.
all
But
like vampire.
I don't think he's losing the hand. And I've talked to Andrew Lincoln about this, and he has said, I asked them, can I lose my hand? Like, please take my hand off. Can we do this? And I think he actually is willing to cut his own hand off for this role. I mean, you saw the snot bubble in the season premiere. There's not much he won't do. But
Man's committed.
yeah, he is committed, and he gives it his all, and we thank him for that.
Every day.
But he did say that the VFX team was like, anybody but you. You're in every scene. We can't do it. It's too much work. They're doing a freaking tiger for
Yeah.
special effects' sake. So I don't think they're ever actually going to see Rick lose his hand. But that is the moment that the diehard fans of The Walking Dead, they see some go through Rick's hand, and they're like, oh.
I don't want it to happen.
I thought it was going to happen in the season 7 premiere.
But
Oh,
also,
so did I.
But also at the same time, like, is he just gonna be like, okay, it's fine, I impaled my hand on a
Yeah.
rusty thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was really
Something's
funny.
gonna happen.
Right. But I thought it was really funny. I mean, even in the regular world, you should be worried about an infection. Like,
Even in that whole place, I feel like everyone has tetanus.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, you
it's
might-
us. They're in a dump, right? They're like in a
Yes.
trash compactor
Yeah.
world. I don't know. They should be scared.
that's not sanitary.
It's
Great.
not sanitary.
Don't let Rick serve dinner at the Hilltop. No Spaghetti Tuesdays for Rick. And the final thing I want to talk about before we get to the questions and comments, and I hope you guys are dropping questions in for us because I love that part of the show. It's my favorite. But Richard, he had a huge episode this week, and he quickly was becoming one of my favorite, and I think a lot of people's favorite characters, especially in this scene where he gives Daryl his crossbow back. Finally, Daryl gets the crossbow back, and everyone's like, hallelujah. So then he goes ahead and he is using Carol as live bait. Daryl's like, nah, bro, you ain't using my girl like that.
Nah, son.
And they kind of get in a fight, and I don't know. How do we feel about Richard at this point?
I love that dialogue, that entire moment of Daryl and.
Tell me your damn name.
Yeah, I loved that. It was just good. It was so good. It gave me the
Norman did a
chills.
great job in that scene.
Oh, so good. And Norman also has that sad puppy dog
He's
face
got it
on
down.
lock. Like,
He's almost like a hurt dog. I mean,
in it.
Charlie was saying, well, before we did this,
Yeah.
that he thinks Daryl was just kind of totally recovered from being kept in the cell?
Absolutely not.
No, when he approached Carol, he was like
He was looking down. He has the demeanor of a beaten man.
Exactly.
Of a beaten dog.
Yeah, he's
just
like
I'm
he's like
scared,
a
I don't
rescue
know.
animal right now, and maybe that's why he can relate to Shiva.
Oh.
But I mean, this was really cool for me. I got to talk to Richard, actor, Carl McKinnon. I think I said that right, McKinnon. It's tricky. But it's Carl McKinnon, and he said that he doesn't really like Morgan right now because Morgan doesn't want to kill people, and that's all Richard wants to do.
Man.
Right.
But he does think that he and Daryl can see eye to eye. He thinks that can happen again. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so too. But I'm also wondering what. Sorry, I'm adding to the questions, but what is it gonna take for the kingdom to jump on, like to be part of this?
Well, right. I mean,
That is
we tried
actually
to
the
get
fall of
Khary to admit, but he just won't open up to it.
Genesis Rodriguez said the exact same thing. Do you think the Savior's actually entering the kingdom will change Ezekiel's mind?
I think.
Do you think that's what it's going to be?
I think Benjamin is gonna go.
I think the same thing. I said that today.
He's such a nice, innocent guy
Yep.
who King Ezekiel really cares
like a
about. He's
son
been training
figure.
him, taking him out. Yeah, and I think that Richard might even get him killed or something because Richard acts out and. If the Saviors know, if we kill Richard, Ezekiel's not going to be that mad because he's going to understand this was
said the
Richard's fault.
same thing.
Benjamin,
But
on the other
people
hand, when Daryl acted up, did the Saviors kill Daryl? No, they killed Glenn.
Yeah.
R.I.P. But that's what could happen. If Richard acts up again, it might
But
be.
you can't kill my two puppy dogs out there.
Yeah.
I mean, they can.
It's The Walking
Don't
Dead. This
do
is The
it.
Walking Dead you're talking
Yeah.
about. They
I
killed
don't
Lizzie
kill
and
my
Mika.
people. Oh, man.
Kill Lizzie and Mika. Just look at the flowers. Never forget. But before we get to the questions, comments, and concerns, we did a giveaway. We launched this on Walker Wednesday. We asked you to use the hashtag #AfterTheDead and tell us which character you would bring back and why in order to receive a Rick Grimes McFarlane Toys action figure. It's pretty cool. And our winner is Chrissy Brooks with this tweet. She wants to bring back Shane. I feel you, Chrissy. I completely agree. And we're going to talk about this. But she says, since Looney Laurie is dead, it'd be cool to see how his character would interact with Negan. Here's my thoughts on that. I think Shane would be Negan by now. I think he would have become Negan. I don't think he would have gone the Rick Grimes route. I think he would have just started ruling the world with Laurie at his side.
You
not
think he would
by
have
choice.
evolved into that?
Absolutely. I think he or devolved.
De-evolved.
Whatever you want to call it. But well, if you're once you should go read the Here's Negan backstory. I recommend that to everybody.
Yeah, I have.
It is so
I get it,
cool,
but-
and you almost feel bad for Negan and how he got to this point of who he is. But yeah, Chrissy, I'm going to slide into your DMs on Twitter, get your address, and I'm going to deliver it myself. No, I'm not. I'm going to mail it to you. But you're going to get a Rick Grimes McFarlane Toys action figure. Thank you so much, and we will launch another giveaway on Walker Wednesday right here on the Walking Down on Comicbook.com's Facebook page. So make sure you're watching that now. Tori has been watching the comment section all show long. We're going to take a few of your questions, give you some opinions, some facts, some speculation. That's what we do here at After the Dead.
Exactly. You can keep sending me your questions. A lot of people agreeing with you guys that Benjamin is probably going to be the catalyst.
So sad.
I have heard that Richard might also go. It might be the death of Richard that sets
What if it's
Ezekiel
both
up.
of them?
Or it could be both.
I
Or
would hate
it,
that. I would be so. I really like Richard. Richard
like
has
him
quickly
too.
become one of my favorite. He is the voice of the audience right now.
Yeah.
If you think
Yeah,
about it.
I mean, that makes sense.
Nobody wants to go to war. Rick now, finally, but from the beginning of this season, Richard is the one who's like, we have to kill the Saviors.
Absolutely.
And he's the only one who's saying it. And the audience is like, that guy. I'm with him. So I think taking out Richard is a big blow, or Benjamin would be pretty heartbreaking. And at that point, Ezekiel is like, let's do it. And you know who else? Morgan. If Benjamin dies, Morgan is going to lose it. So, all right, let's do a few questions. What do we got?
Jennifer Lynn Bledsoe Penley. Hey, hyphenated name
Hey,
like me.
Jennifer.
What's up? What do you think Daryl's going to do when he is face to face with Negan again?
If he comes face to face with Negan, he better run.
yeah, I feel like that's something that's not going to happen.
It's going to be a while.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
he
don't
wouldn't
see it
hesitate to
happening.
kill him. He absolutely wouldn't hesitate from killing
Right.
Negan. But I think he should run because Negan is never really by himself, and every single Savior has shoot to kill orders on Daryl right now.
Yeah, and we saw the teaser at the end of this episode. The
There-
whole
yeah.
next episode seems to be about the hunt for
I mean,
Daryl.
they were checking cabinets to
Yeah.
see if he was hiding in drawers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want him dead.
Enrique Perez says, who does Rosita think she is?
Rosita. She thinks she's Rosita.
Yeah, she's awesome. I love her.
Rosita's gone full heel turn.
I like it.
With what she said to Sasha last week about we had sex with the same dead guy that doesn't make us friends, which
I
mean it
know.
really doesn't make you friends. I'll go with that. But in any case, she was being so rude to Tara.
Yeah, I know.
She was being so mean.
I just think
okay,
it's
so
nice
why-
to have
why?
someone with fire, someone who's, ready to really get going on it. She's jumping the gun too much, but I'm ready for her to
So
really
you're
kill
Team
people.
Rosita right now.
I'm team our entire group.
You know Rosita got Olivia killed, right?
Oh.
She didn't get Glenn killed, so we're cool.
Where's my mic?
Mic
I'm just
drop.
gonna Drop the mic.
Mic
drop
drop.
the mic. I liked Olivia too.
Bill Coleman wants to know, will they go to war this season or will it be in the fall?
I think the war is going to start right at the end of the season. I think we'll
Oh,
probably get a big battle. I heard that there was explosions and stuff happening on the Alexandria set when they were filming the finale. So I was thinking it could be the grenade scene from the comics right about 4 issues into All Out War, but I'm thinking maybe they could change things up a little bit. The communities could rally and chase the saviors out, and that could be how the war, like right at the end of the season, All Out War has begun, and it takes all of season 8 for the war to conclude. Maybe just the first half. I would love that if the first half of season 8 was the war, and it doesn't take 16 episodes. But
It sounds so exciting. I can't wait. I'm excited either way.
I think we have time for just
be
one more
amazing.
question.
We'll do a fun
and then,
one. Jennifer Labatt, Jacqueline Labatt, is
Jacqueline.
Daryl ever going to wash his hair?
No!
It doesn't matter. The women still love him.
Here's
The
my
women
theory.
love Daryl.
It's like
Dirty
Samson.
Daryl.
If he washes it, he'll lose his power.
Probably.
So no, he's not going to wash it.
And that is where we will call it a show, guys. If you have questions for next week, go ahead and submit them on Twitter using #AfterTheDead. This has been a lot of fun. You can go back and rewatch the show if you missed our interview with Khary Payton. As soon as we hang up here, you can start at the beginning right here on this Facebook page, The Walking Dead on Comicbook.com. And I strongly urge you to go to Comicbook.com/TheWalkingDead for lots of exclusive interviews with Carl McKinnon, who plays Richard, Pollyanna McIntosh, who plays New Lady Jadis. I talked to Tom Payne, who plays Jesus this week. We've got it all. Guys, Comicbook.com/TheWalkingDead. I'm done there. On behalf of Janelle Wheeler, Tori Yates, or I'm Brandon Davis, I hope to see you next week on After the Dead.